Never mind, you are full young. It's largely a matter of experience. You have another chance here. Take up firm attitude from the beginning. That's the secret of it. Perhaps it was he remembered that first tremendous ordeal of taking prep. A September sunset more than half a century ago. Big hall full of lusty barbarians ready to pounce on him as their legitimate prey. His youth's fresh complexion, high collared and side whiskered. Old fashioned people followed in those days, at the mercy of 500 unprincipled ruffians to whom the baiting of new master was a fine art, an exciting sport, and something of a tradition. Recent little beggars individually put as a mob, just pitiless and implacable, a sudden hush as he took his place at the desk on the dice. The skull he assumed to cover his inward nervousness, the tall clock ticking behind him, and the smells of ink and varnish. The last blood red rays slanting in slabs through the stained glass window. Someone dropped a desk lid. Quickly he must take everyone by surprise. He must show that there was no nonsense about him. You there in the fifth row? You with the red hair. What's your name? Kole, sir. Very well, Kole. You have 100 lines. No trouble at all. After that, he had won his first round. And years later, when Kole was alderman of the city of the London, and Burnett and various other things, he sent his son to Brookfield, and Chips would say, Kule, your father was the first boy I ever punished when I came here 25 years ago. He deserved it then, and you deserve it now. How they all laughed, and how Sir Richard laughed when his son wrote home the story in next Sunday's letter. And again, years after that, many years after that, there was an even better joke, for another Kole had just arrived. Son of the Kole, who was the son of the first Kole. And Chips would say, punctuating his remarks with that little that had then become a habit with him. Kule, you are a splendid example of inherited tradition. I remembered your grandfather. He could never grasp the ablative absolute. A stupid fellow, your grandfather, and your father too. I remember him. So used to sit at that far desk by the wall. He wasn't much better either, but I do believe, my dear Kule, that you are the biggest fool of lot. Roars of laughter. A great joke, this growing old, but a sad joke too, in a way. As Chip sat by his fire with autumn gales rattling the windows, the waves of Mrs. Wickett came in with his a cup of tea. She did not know whether he had been laughing or crying, and neither did Chips himself. So we are starting the chapter 2. Across the road, behind the rampart of ancient elm, lay Brookfield Russet under its autumn mantle of creeper. A group of 18th century buildings centered upon a quadrangle, and there were acres of playing field beyond. Then came the small dependent village, and then open country. Brookfield has whether he had said was an old foundation established in the region of Elizabeth as a grammar school. It might with better luck have become as famous as Harrow. Its luck, however, had been not so good. The school went up and down, dwindling almost to non-existent at one time, becoming almost illustrious at another. It was during one of these latter periods in the reign of the first George that the main structure has been rebuilt and large addition made. Later, after the Napoleonic War and until the mid Victorian days, the school declined again.